Hey guys, this is Scotty Wick back with another video on pizza time, and I'm going into this. It's got to do. I've got a lot of feedback that the coding is just it's very difficult, and I totally agree until you get into it, and then it's not that. It's actually not that complex. It's just being thorough is pretty important and can be rather tough. Because there are so many things that happen. So what I'm going to do for today, I'm just on my lunch break, and I was going to code this anyways. I figured why not like walk through it. So I don't. I'm going to hit stumbling blocks, stuff like that. But feel free to come along with me. What we're going to do here is that on pizza time. Let me turn some more of these things on. The goal is that up here in this kicker. The add a ball kicker, which also adds ball, is also a mystery kicker, or a mystery can be earned in there as well as an extra ball. So it does those three things. It can either do none of those things, or it can do all three of those things, or parts of those things, depending on what we have done. We have a pizza here. We can't really see this 3D object in this view, but it's a stand-up pizza, and you can see here it's got 3 lights on it. And those lights, what I've done is I've put a flasher that is just a sentry. So you can see this one's called Mystery Flash, and I've currently got it off in my code. You can see here it says the opacity is 1000%, and that's a good thing to note. The opacity isn't 0 to 100. It can be ridiculous if you want. So if you have a wider image that's like a transparent ping that you're using as this, just boost it way up and make it like 1000%. It'll make your life so much easier. Anyways, so I've got that one up, but actually in the code I tell it to be at 0. So whatever you put here, it doesn't really matter. You can adjust that in the code. So what we need to do is first we need to define what lights that mystery flash. And so let's code that. And what that's going to be, what I've planned is on the left here, there are these outlanes that are called death and glory. So we can see we've got a light there that says glory on it. This one says death. Let's get rid of some of these lights. All right, so we've got this one that says glory, this one that says death because it's got the reverse lanes. So what I want to do is I want to award this mystery or light mystery to be ready to be awarded depending on how many glory lanes you go by, because it's scary. There is a way, and I'll show you a trick for playing to get those, but that's pretty damn scary to get those. So we're going to award people with lighting mystery when they do that, because it's not really an objective and neither is mystery, so it's kind of fun to tie those two things together. So I'm going to call this, because I kind of name these as I use them. So let's call this trigger glory 1 T, or T1. So glory trigger 1, because I will have other things. And let's do this right one as glory T2. All right, so we got 2 of them now. We've got glory T1 and glory T2. So let's get into starting to count those and what that means and how we do that. All right, so I got my script open here. So this is going to be very important. You have all this stuff at the top, and we've kind of talked through this, and then we get down to where we're actually building on our table. On mine, you'll see that it'll say after my scoring, so right here it'll have all these X's, start table theme scripts, scoring, yada yada. So what I'm going to do is we have those 2 triggers, and when those triggers are hit, we need to do some things. But first, we need to have a way to keep track of, if I got it, say I'm player 1, say I got it, or if player 2 got it, or player 3 got it. We don't need it to count for everyone. It needs to count for you specifically. So this is very important, and something you'll use a lot is how to do per player tracking. So if we look here at these dimensions that I'm putting in here, you can see a lot of these have the 4, meaning that this can have a variable of up to 4 in it on the edge there. So what I'm doing, let's look at this up here. Let's go all the way to the top. And this was done by JP, or maybe not, maybe someone before even JP, but I've piggybacked on it. But what we have is a current player attribute. So we can see here that I have a dimension, and this is in my overall. So this isn't specific to this game. This is just an overall that should be held for everything. So I have current player. You can see there the dimension. So now we have to say reset for a new game. So we can say when the game starts, current player equals 1, obviously, because it's first player, right? That makes sense. No arguing there. Reset for new ball, we have it there. And so let's go down to when it's next player. So we have here that next player equals current player, but we can see here that next player, so if the players in the game is more than 1, we can tell that more than 1, then next player equals current player plus 1. So what that's telling us is that that variable that we defined as current player, if it's the second player, now equals 2. If it's the third player, now equals 3. If it's the fourth player, now equals 4. I only build my games for 4 players because that's the way the arcades are. There are some silly ones out there that do like 6 players and crap, but yeah, I don't really have any concern for that. 4 players where it's at. Nobody wants to wait for 5 other players before you get to shoot your ball again. That's just obnoxious. Anyways, so current player is what we're using, and all current player is a variable that equals either 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? So let's go ahead and we use that throughout. So let's go back and look at what we're doing here. All right, so we have this. So let's go ahead and make a dimension for this. So let's go. Dimension is glory count. So we're going to call it glory count, and we need to do it as a 4 because again, it needs to be 1 through 4. Yada yada. You get the idea. And glory count is going to be a variable that can be whatever we want. And that might sound weird, but glory count has a variable which is 1 through 4. So it'll be glory count 1, glory count 2, glory count 3, glory count 4, and then that can equal a number. So stay with me. Hope that doesn't lose you. But all right, so now what we have here is this is my game initialization. And what this does is this says when a new game starts, call this. And what we're doing here is we're going to go ahead and make sure that whatever happened in the previous game we're clearing out, because otherwise your computer is going to keep that variable, and then you'll be like, why do I already have 20 glory counts? Anyways, so we can see here what we do is for I in I equals 0 to 4. So what this means is this is a loop. So it's going to do I equals 0, I equals 1, I equals 2, I equals 3, I equals 4. So it's going to run through this whole string I have here 4 times. So in here I'm putting, and so I equals either 1, next loop it equals 2, next loop it equals 3, and next loop it equals 4. Does that make sense? So what we're going to try to do here is, since we have glory count of 4, we want to make sure, let's go down here, and let's do glory count I, because remember I is the loop variable. So glory count I equals 0. So that's going to say when the game starts, no one's got anything, right? You don't have shit. So that's great. That's fantastic. We got what we want. Glory count equals I equals 0. Money. All right. So we now have a variable glory count, which then we'll put in parentheses and say current player whenever we want to add things. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's go down to where let's go down to where we have all our things that are being hit. So here's our table hit events. So I'm just going to put this somewhere. I do a lot of my thing, like rotate the lanes and the slingshots. I do kind of those at the start. So I'm going to put it up there because it makes sense. So what we're going to do here now is we need to do a hit event. So how you do a hit event is, let's look at this. We got our glory T1, right? Glory trigger 1. Let's go back to our script. So we're going to do a sub and that's going to be in glory. And a sub is just where you can put a whole bunch of stuff together. So we're going to do P1, and then if you want something to be a hit, you're going to do underscore hit. It's going to stay black. It's fine. You can see up here there's other things like slingshots, timers. This underscore is going to be an action, whether it's a timer, a slingshot, a kicker, stuff like that. Anyways, so we have glory 1 is hit. And I always like to just go ahead and close them in sub. So we have sub in sub. So nothing happens. But if the glory T1 was hit, this would run. Obviously, right now it would do nothing. But what we're going to do is we're going to say, so we got to think about this. We're wanting to keep 1 total, even though there's 2 triggers to hit. So that's kind of weird, right? We got this one thing, and then we're going to want things to happen when those are hit. Let me talk you through what we're going to do there. So we are going to make a, well, actually, let's do this for the other one. Let's just go ahead and get the 2 up there. So this would be T2 is hit. And then we're going to have a thing here. We're going to make a new sub. We're going to call it count the glory. And it doesn't really matter. We can just call it. And again, I always close them, just otherwise I'll forget. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say when this glory 1 is hit, count the glory. So that's going to say, cool, refer to this, right? So if it's hit, I need you to run this other thing. So if either of those is hit, we're going to count the glory. Right? So if this is hit, it runs this sub now. All right, so in this sub, what we're going to do is we're going to say, remember we had our glory count. So we're going to go ahead and do glory count. You can see it right here. It's going to remember it. Glory count. What it does not remember is that this is a current player attribute. And so what we have to do is say current player. Okay, so if you follow what that's actually doing, when I put that current player in there, that's putting, whoever's playing this game, that's putting a number, 1, 2, 3, or 4 in there, right? That's all it's doing. It looks like it's doing more than that, but it's actually not. So what we're just going to say is we want the value of glory count current player, which is 0, because remember we set that. We want this to be glory count, again current player, and it's going to try to help you put those things in there. Plus 1. Okay, so what we said is when either of these are hit, take that value, which is 0, and equal it 0 plus 1. So now we have 1. So every time that's hit, that's going to keep counting for us, which is great. That's what we want to know. And so let's go ahead, and we're going to be working on pinup DMD for this one, which is relatively new to me. So I don't know these things from heart, but that's okay, because we've got things saved. What I'm going to do here is I want to make sure that in our when this happens, that I just post it to the DMD so that we can see it, so we can make sure that this is actually working, which is super helpful when you're coding this stuff. Tip jar. Where did I put it? This, yeah, messy code. Anyways, so we're here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this case out. I don't need that. We'll get into case. That's about to happen. Because I just want to pass this over there to say something. So I'm going to do the DMD splash big. So pinup DMD splash big. I say how long I want it to be there, and this is the color. Not going to get into that, how to get that color code. We're not going there right now. But what I do want to do here is I want to put our glory count in here. So what I'm going to do is take out that text because I don't need that text. And I'm just going to put glory count. So that's going to pass the glory count into there. So that's what it's going to pass in on our screen. Okay, so now you're thinking, okay, we're counting all these glories, but how do I know when to do what? Like, how do I know when to actually like make it do something, right? So what we do is this is called a select case. So what we do is we do select case, and then we have to say, I have to first learn how to spell. Select case, and it needs to know like case for what. So we do select case glory count, right? So here we're saying, based on whatever that number is, I'm going to give you some cases. And again, I just go ahead and end my things and then start to fill them in. So I know that's done. So what you do here, and I like to have it in one, is I give it a case. So case 1. So this is going to say if the current player has just got their first glory, then let's do something. It does not have to be every number. You could do like the next one could be case 10. Doesn't really matter. So I'm going to turn on. I'm going to go ahead and turn on that light. So I'm going to give people that deal right off the bat. So let's go ahead and flip that layer on. That one is called Mystery Flash. So what I'm going to do here is say Mystery Flash opacity equals 2000. So that'll turn that bad boy on and make it bright because it's 2000. So there we go. We got glories. When they're hit, they go count the glory. Count the glory shows us a splash that it happened. It's going to turn this on, and when this is on, then we can do additional things. Let's go ahead and test this. Let's go ahead and get a save on. Oh, not a save as, don't want that. Let's go ahead and do a save. Let's see if we can get that light to turn on. Got our DMD with extra junk on it that we don't need. We'll get to that later. All right, so here's my trick when you play this table, which it is intentional. This thing plays so laggy on this VM. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit the UFO. Or not. Yay. But I want to hit that UFO. And then if I dead flip it off of its kick out, it will go through the glory. So let's do this. You can backhand it. Balls. There we go. Now dead flip and it should go through the glory. There we are. Oh, so we can see here we did something wrong. So let's go see what we did wrong. So all comes down to shitty spelling. So we can see here I didn't put 2 T's. Well, that's pretty important. Oops, I accidentally hit start. That's not what we wanted. Oh man. Yeah. Exit button. All right. Comes down to shitty spelling. Count the glory. Now you can see these went purple. It's saying, cool, you actually learned how to spell. It's fantastic. All right, load it back up again. Let's see if we can get a glory going on. All right. Maybe it'll be great. Maybe it'll do it on its own. Probably not. Pepperonis. So you can see how those pepperoni lights or salami, depending on where you're from, have gone solid. That's just another case. Each time they get 15 hits, I turn it on. When it's on, that means something happened. Anyways, so let's go ahead. Oh, balls. All right. Maybe it'll just go. Oh, it's like maybe it'll just help us out. All right. No, it didn't help us out. Green, sad. All right, we'll get it in there. The thing to know when you play my tables is that Dead flip is really important. A lot of these shots are made specifically, like a lot of the angles are made specifically for that. Let's see. There we go. See how it says 1? Fantastic. And we can see here that our mystery light went on. That is exactly what we wanted to happen. Okay. So looking at this, we can find an issue here. So the issue is, if I was player 2, I didn't tell this light to turn off anywhere, right? So the light's still going to be on. Because we turned it on, we didn't turn it off. And we didn't have any way to then check when it's my turn again if it was still on or not on. We got to fix that. So maybe you're ahead of me. Maybe you can think how we're going to do that. If not, let me show you. Right. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go back up here and we're going to make a new one. Again, we have to, when you think to yourself, is this a variable that needs to be unique to that player? If you say yes, then it's got to be one of these with the 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say dim. I'm just going to say is mystery on. Make sure I spelled that right. Okay, is mystery on. And this is going to be a true or false. So that's all we're looking for. So we're going to go down here and we're going to say is mystery on I. Okay, oh, that's not an I, that's a 1. I. Shit. We're just going to say false. And again, this is resetting it. Man, I cannot type and talk. Is mystery on? As we can see here, we didn't even spell that right. Actually, gotta make sure I did up top. Yep, so is mystery on? Is mystery on? False. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to where we did that. Right, so when this came on, this should turn the mystery on. We're going to go say mystery. Oh, we got to go is mystery on, again, current player. And we're going to say that equals true, because it is. So that'll say mystery is mystery on for the current player. Yes, it is. Cool. So now we have that value, but then, what the hell are we going to do with it? The next thing we'll need to do is make sure that we turn this off. So let's turn it off at the start of every ball. So up here, we have a reset every ball lights, which is, again, part of my base code, so you can use that. And this is, I'm just using it. I have reset all lights. I have a bunch of different ones, but this one's called at the start of every, at the start of every ball. See, we got restart new ball lights. We got other things, but I just use this one because this is called the start of every ball, so I can do whatever I want in here. So what I'm going to do is just up here at the top, I'm just going to go ahead and turn that light off. We'll turn it on later if we are supposed to. So mystery flash is off. All right. So on this reset, the reset every ball lights, we'll see here. It's called player lights that I built. And so what I'm going to do here is I have this just very simple loop. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to add a new one. All these run at the start of every ball to check where that player was at last time they were playing. So let's do this. We can do is mystery on. Is mystery. Because I haven't gone out, if I were to go here and then go back, then this turns purple. I know it's annoying. But so if you're like, did I spell it right? Because if you didn't spell it right, it'll stay black. If it is spelled right, it'll go purple. Or whatever you want to call that. So I'm just going to say is mystery on current player. If that equals true, then we want to turn that flash on. Oops. So I forgot the name of it. Let's go back here. Mystery flash. So we're going to say, let's go here, mystery flash. And again, we're doing opacity equals 2000. Right? So there we go. Is the mystery on for the current player? Yes. If so, then mystery flash 2000. Again, we turned it off at the top, so this will turn it back on here. The next thing we need to do is when are we going to make this false again, right? Obviously it is at the start of every game, but it shouldn't just stay true forever. So when would it not be true? Well, that would be once we hit the mystery. So right up here in the add a ball kick. So what we're going to do, and I already got some of this pre-written, so sorry that you won't be able to go along with me on all of it, but this is kind of annoying. So a thing to think about whenever you have a thing like this add a ball kick that has the possibility of 3 variations. Well, it gets kind of weird because you need to prepare for each 3 variations if you're going to be playing scenes, which you're going to want to. If someone hits a mystery, it should show a spinning mystery thing and then whatever else. And if they get an extra ball, you're going to want to do an extra ball scene. So you'll have to delay those to allow that for that time, as I call it, cinematic delay. But so this add a ball kick, you can see here that when you hit it, _hit, again, that's someone hit that. I have to do all 3 are ready, none are ready, only add a ball, only mystery, only extra ball and mystery, extra ball and add a ball, mystery and add a ball. So those are all the possible variations, which is annoying, but get over it. Coding for pinball is kind of annoying. Anyway, so all 3 are ready. So you can see here I've put these notes where you just put a apostrophe, and then that's just notes to yourself. So I'm just going to say here we're saying I need to do those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say is mystery on. And for the current player, we're going to turn it off because they just hit it, right? They just got the mystery. So now it's off. So we want to go to every variation where that might be only mystery. You can see here 2 mystery things. Again, I spelled it wrong. I hate spelling mystery for some reason. We have only extra ball. It wouldn't make sense there. We got here for the mystery. We need to put it there. Extra ball and add a ball. It doesn't make sense. Mystery is here. We're going to add it there. Okay. Fantastic. We have gotten all the way to lighting up a mystery, hitting it, remembering who hit it, reminding them next time, making sure that light went on. So it's quite a bit. So the next thing we would need to do is now code what we're going to give that person. And that, obviously when we were up here, we only did a case for 1, but there would be multiple mysteries. Obviously, you'd want to make them get harder and harder and harder as the game goes on. So what you'd probably want to do up here, this is back to our Count the Glory. We're going to do maybe a case 4, and then we'll do the same thing. We just want to turn it back on. Then I'm going to do a case, we're getting harder on them, case 10. That's a lot. And let's do a case 20, because seriously, how many can you get? Oops, I had these. And if you're just a legit baller, we're going case 30, because damn, you escaped death 30 times. That's pretty fantastic. All right, so we've got our cases in there, right? Let's go ahead and save. Each time, again, that's going to splash that you've got one. I'll probably take that out in the end because that's not a thing you want on the DMD, really, unless you did some kind of cool animation. I don't know, but you're not going to want that. But we'll take it out later. For now, it's fine. And so the next thing we need to do is build the mystery part of this. So how are we going to award someone a mystery? I'm going to start this. I won't be able to finish it, to be honest, because I'm running on a lunch break. I think this has got a lot of good stuff across to you guys. So hopefully help you along. But let's go ahead and just start it for a second. Again, we're going to add our ball kick. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this down here near this guy, because I kind of like whenever you reference something for it generally to be close as much as you can. Obviously, you can't always. And so we're going to call this one the sub. We're going to call it Mystery Award. All right, Mystery Award again. Let's go ahead and give it space and let's end it. So a cool feature that you'll find in the code on any of mine is the random number generator. So it's going to be RNB. We'll go ahead and find it. All right, function random number min max. So what this does, and I'll show you some places where I use it here. So this is a function, meaning it's going to do things for you based on what you give it. So random sound hole, you can see this has a case of a random number, and that random number is 1 through 3. And there's 3 cases. This is exactly what we want to do here. So that's fantastic. So we're just going to grab this. We're just going to grab this whole damn thing. So that's perfect. So it's going to, this function, what it says is when it gets there, give me a number between 1 and 3. And you can see we're using it here for 1 to 8 when we use our pizza spinner. So we're going to go back to our add a ball kicker. And we put this below it, mystery award. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this whole stinking select case in here. So we're going to do more than 3. You can put colons in here like this and put it all together, and that'll make your code look nicer and make you a better person. But I don't do that because I think it's easier to read this way. Anyways, do however you want. So I'm just going to put a couple really simple things in here, which are just to add score. So I can do add score. Do it big. So 2 mil. It's pretty sweet. And 2 mil. This is not a very good mystery. Each are the same. So I need to figure out what I want those to be. But so now all I would do, which you're probably already getting, is I would go back to everywhere where I need to do a mystery scene, all the rest of that stuff. And anywhere where there'd be a mystery, I'm going to do a mystery award. And that's going to tell this that if those rules apply, and you can see here that's saying if the extra ball state is 0 and the mystery flash opacity is at 2000, which we set, so we know that, then it's going to do these things. And so let's do this. So this is like obviously not a real mystery because I don't actually know what I'm going to give away yet. I probably have light extra ball or maybe just straight up extra ball. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll do that later. But so there you go. We have made it through. We have made it through what constitutes lighting the light for mystery. How do we keep those consistent to each person? How do we count those? How do we make sure we turn those off and then turn them back on that person's turn? And then how to make a mystery award that is a random number that generates it and gives someone whatever number it ends with. And so that, takes you from start to finish there. So I hope this has helped. I'm sorry I don't have more time to go through further. I think the current player lighting things, unlighting things, hit. I think all that is pretty damn crucial to picking all this up. So post questions to me if you're on Facebook, Visual Pinball Addicts Club or something like that. I'm in there. Feel free to comment to me. If I don't respond here to YouTube, I don't always see these. So I hope this has helped. Getting closer on having a pizza time ready to play. But definitely let me know any questions or thoughts you have. And thanks again for watching. Save.